Guys, if you don't know, Power Ranger Illuminati been having beef that goes deep with Aaron Schoenke. And the Power Ranger Illuminati originally released that, hey, Netflix, Hulu, Amazon declined the video outright. You can say this is a Legend of the White Dragon insider, if you will. But the biggest story, I guess, to come out the Power Ranger Illuminati is the time that Aaron Schoenke walked into the color correction room to finalize some LUTs, and it smelled like cucumber melon in there, right? Claiming the scent undermined the emotional tone in the sequence. Now, this was quite funny, and I even must say so myself, and some of these things have been very outlandish, okay? And they said, look, I'm serious. It was at one point where there's like, yo, this is this is getting bad. He's suspecting a lot of people are, communicating with me, which they are. Looks like Aaron filmed some kind of sketch where he walks in on a tech eating actual cucumbers and melon, then acts all outraged. I'm guessing it's his way of deflecting the original story, which is true, trying to reframe the Bath and Body Works perfume incident as absurd by equating it with food, like he's mocking the idea that anyone took it seriously in the first place. Well, he's kind of actually changing things. He's trying to change in the narrative. Classic play. If you can't deny it cleanly, parody it. That way you blur the lines and make it harder for people to pin down what actually happened. But the fact that he even went out of his way to shoot something like this, that says a lot about how deep this one got under his skin. This is true, man. He actually filmed, this guy, instead of working on Legend of the White Dragon, filmed this 50-second short with some poor camera work, and shout out to the poor color correction guy. Like, who knows?
All right, what the fuck is
like
that doing here?
Oh.
What the fuck is that doing here?
Hey, Aaron. I thought you might like some snacks.
You know, I fucking hate cucumber melon. I don't even understand how you think I could edit with that shit in here right now. You think I can process color with cucumber and melons?
Like, the camera person clearly just cut the face off, which is probably for the best, considering, hey, you're looking at the reason why Legend of the White Dragon has such a high budget right here, and his acting is just falling flat. I mean, I don't think anyone in the audience watching live believed for 1 second that this guy was angry, but let's see what else he has to say.
Answer me!
There was just going to be a nutritious snack.
Look. Okay, look. I have one thing to say about that. This is the silly stuff that they think's actually happening in here.
Now, he puts up these comments with like some silly white, but does it smell like cucumber? You won't color correct because of the smell of cucumber melon. Cucumber melon stopping production is wild. Get it together, pathetic. What do you have to say about the cucumber melon accusations? Of course, Aaron is the type of person to deny it unless you prove it, right? He would deny it until you prove it. That's just who he is. So whether it's true or not, hey, who knows? I wasn't there. I mean, I just report was sent to me.
Don't believe these silly lies.
Now, lies would have to indicate that I was actually there. I'm not there.
Freaking love cucumbers.
But it wasn't about the food being in there. It was actually a tech wearing the scent cucumber melon. But you see how he tried to change it? Like, if you just look at him and it takes literally 1 second of thinking to see through all of Aaron's stuff, that, hey, this was not about food being in there. It was about the smell, the scent.
This is delicious. Anyways, the movie looks great, guys. We just locked color. Ara's doing a fantastic job.
Like, ask him about the hairline cut. Like, I would love to get a Nikolai interview.
These are good.
Thank you, brother.
Like, they filmed this after they got called out for the 40 to 60 hour stuff. But the Illuminati didn't stop there. It says, as for the film itself, here's where things actually stand. Aaron is still scrambling to secure distribution for what they're calling the standard cut. The version that went through final mix and playback last week, there is no output deal, no confirmed delivery schedule, and internally there's zero confidence it'll hit the target window around JDF's birthday. He's recently started entertaining a to-be direct licensing option, which pretty much reflects where expectations are now sitting. At this point, the priority seems to be finaling a deliverable just to declare picture wrap. regardless of platform viability or promotional runway. Now, the crazy thing is, if you actually go through Aaron's stuff, he actually posted a clip from Tubi. Now, you may seem like this is like a bad deal or whatever, but it's actually promo. You see Tubi right here, which would be like, okay, I kind of see what he's doing with the Tubi stuff. Maybe, maybe not. Anyway, and that's just a standard cut. The hairline cut, his supposed ultimate final vision, is even further off. There's no timeline, no clear plan, and it's not part of any current release prep. It's still just him and his personal visual effects goon in Russia, going shot by shot, tweaking his forehead in close-ups. So far, none of those updated shots have been reviewed or dropped into the actual edit. It's all just floating. Like, bro, we really have to nail down if that, really exists. Now, I asked about Netflix, and they say Legend of the White Dragon has no shot landing there. Not now, probably not ever. And they was talking about how Netflix prioritizes what are called 4-quadrant films, meaning that appeal to all 4 major audience segments: male, female, over 25, and under 25. Think big budget crowd pleasers that can hit multiple demos at once, like Stranger Things, 100%, Bright, or Jupiter's Legacy. They're not just chasing genre, they want scale, emotional versatility, franchise potential, and a wide net. Legend of the White Dragon doesn't fit that mode at all. It's a niche vanity project built around fractured fandom with zero institutional backing, no major cast pools outside of JDF, and the tone that wavers between fan film and pseudo-Christian revenge epic. So I'm guessing this is a Christian revenge epic. There's no built-in path to international success, no brand safety. That alone makes it a non-starter for Netflix, who, despite what people think, do care about optics, especially when dealing with controversial or unstable productions. This thing is a moonshot. Don't let him float the "we are in talks" bit like it means anything. Everyone's always in talks doesn't mean a deal is happening. Now, I didn't really just stop there. I had to keep going. I'm like, hey, hey, I asked about the money deal. And they said, I don't have eyes on the actual licensing numbers. Finances are tight-lipped unless you're in the inner circle or cutting the checks yourself. Shout out to Chris J. With projects like this, half the deals are handshake level until ink's dry, and the numbers vary widely depending on what platform you're negotiating with, what rights you're offering, and whether there's back-end participation. Now, Tubi won't pay much, if anything, upfront. It's usually a rev share model. An example, a rev sharing setup where the platform takes a cut of ad or view-based earnings, and the rest after fees goes to the filmmaker. Now, remember, guys, Chris J invested millions, so the Frank estate is likely not going to see one penny from this movie because it would have to actually generate more than Chris J invested, which with Aaron at the helm, that is not likely at all. Unless you've got leverage, which Aaron doesn't, and pay-per-view only works if you got a real promo pipeline or a rabbit base, which isn't exactly a given here. Now, here's the thing with Tubi, they do have 100 million people on there, but how many of that 100 million is actually going to tune in to watch Legend of the White Dragon? With ads, of course. And will it be enough to actually surpass the amount Chris J invested? Now we get going. Is there anything else you want the fans to know? Because I stream on Monday. And he says, look, this is where it gets outlandish. I should have asked more questions. They have been quietly floating the idea of another OG Ranger name for potential sequel momentum. Let's just say if you start seeing Red Dragon teasers pop up, don't be surprised. Now, you know where this is going, right? This is only going one of two ways when it comes to Red Ranger. Okay. All right. One of two ways. You guessed it. You have to be trolling me if Austin St. John would work with Aaron. No way Aaron even spoke to Austin St. John. If any, look, they respond, if any of this sounds too outlandish to be true, that's not a knock to my credibility. It's a reflection of how absurd this entire production has become. Now, I did ask about font, as you said, Pirate Bell, but in all honesty, and no slight to font, he's just not as popular as Austin St. John ever will be, but Austin St. John ain't morphing into shit. I'll tell you that. So, I mean, I thought font would be a slam dunk option, but according to the sources, Austin St. John, I mean, I don't know, man. This is where they, sometimes they lose me, sometimes they spot on, but if you don't see it on Netflix and you actually see it on Tubi, that gives this person way more credibility, right? All it takes is you see this on Tubi. Then it's game over. Just ring the bell. Ring the bell. Ring the bell on Legend of the White Dragon. Ring the bell on Aaron Schoenke's career. We gave you $4 million and the best you got was Tubi. Hell no. Hell no. So let me know what you guys think about the Power Ranger Illuminati, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.